But also, in case you're wondering a little bit more about me, I am originally from Charlotte, North Carolina. I went to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, go Tar Heels, and I've lived in New York for many, many years now. I'll tell you some things about Broadway and the arts and culture sector in general. Broadway Broadway and live theater in general in New York supports over 100,000 jobs, and all of those people are out of work right now. It has an estimated $16 billion impact on the local New York City economy, and just in the 2018-2019 season alone, Broadway welcomed 14.8 million patrons seeing our shows. And I don't even know if that counts so many of the independent and off-Broadway theaters that are in New York City as well, which is a huge genre and extremely successful. So we're heavily reliant on tourism, and no one can come see our shows right now because all the shows are closed. That's a good thing in many ways, because we need to know what protocols we should use when we come back. What are the safest and most effective measures to protect both the audience and the people on stage, the people working in the front of house, and I'm just going to stop right now. Do I see the impact of the closed shows in New York now? Yes. I mean, again, like the Broadway industry brings in more money than the New York sports teams to New York City. So absolutely, there is hundreds and hundreds. I don't know what the percentage is of less tourism, but it's got to be 90% less, if not more. The actual theater district is like a ghost town because there are no patrons going to see shows. And when there are no patrons seeing shows and no tourism, then there's nothing generating an impact on nearby bars and restaurants. It's pretty evident how devastating this has been to our industry. With Hamilton on Disney Plus, do you know about how profitable or not it is for shows to go that route? I don't. Hamilton made its own deal with Disney, and I think it might have been a buyout. I don't know this for a fact, but I believe there was a buyout of a certain amount of money. That has been an idea that's been floated about, could you stream shows? Could you actually stream shows in the theaters, have a full cast, maybe a smattering of audience? Let's say there's 1,000 seats in the theater, you have 100 people so you have that exchange between audience and live performer, and stream them for a nominal fee and see if that could boost the Broadway and live theater industry, and perhaps serve as a bridge to the return to live theater in general. Have there been any virtual shows? I don't think so. I mean, people are doing readings. What that means is like someone's reading a script via Zoom and other streaming platforms like that. But I don't think anyone's doing anything where they're charging, unless it is a donation-based enterprise for theaters that are struggling. How would you compare the effect of the pandemic on live theater to film and television? Well, I know that in New York City, film and television, that industry has started to slowly come back to life. Their protocols, they're going to shoot with very different protocols. Safety is going to be of the utmost importance in people's health, but they have more money, and they can afford to take more time, especially if they're really successful and they're backed by big corporations. So something that would normally take a week to shoot, I believe, will probably, at least at first, probably take twice that amount of time. The real difference is we can't do anything. I mean, despite the little bit of television I've done, I make my living as a live performer, and myself, my fellow friends and colleagues who are live performers, the people that work on the crew backstage, we can't do anything if we don't have a place to go and do it safely. So our business has been devastated, and what we really need is federal funding. I don't know if you call it a bailout, but the arts and culture sector brings in about $8.77 billion to the economy across the nation, and I think that's more than the transportation industry. So yeah, I think that people need to take a hard look at how they can help performers, because when you're home looking at, now again, it's television, but you've been able to look at Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and HBO Max and Disney Plus, and if you're seeing a live show, if you're seeing, those people are performers and they're all out of work right now. What kind of jobs have fellow Broadway stars been taking up? I'm not sure. I know that I teach acting and performance on the side, and I've been doing some of that. But people are doing all sorts of things, and there has been a mass exodus from New York City of performers and people that work backstage, because it's such an expensive city to live in, and we have no income coming in. Do you actors have anybody lobbying Congress on your behalf? I would hope so. Surely they are, but if it's something, there's a campaign right now called Be an Arts Hero, and it's hashtag Be an Arts Hero. You could also go to www.beanartshero.org, and it is an effort to bring national attention to the fact that our industry has been so handicapped by this pandemic, and that we need help. We need help to build back up. We will need that help once it's safe to do so. Right now, Broadway shut down through at least January 3rd, and I'm sure our ability to start again is predicated on the medical and scientific industry's ability to find workable treatment, to find a vaccine that is efficient and safe, and to develop protocols that keep everyone safe in the building. So we need help. We need help on a federal and state level. We need a lot of help because what do you do without the arts, right? I think that there are, someone asked about virtual meet and greets and perhaps charging a fee. I think that is possibly a thing that people are doing. I'm not sure. What social justice organizations within the Broadway community are you a part of right now, and which do you recommend people follow? That's a good question, Angela. Within the Broadway community, it seems like there's, I hope I'm not misspeaking here, but that there's a lot of social justice organizations or people. I don't know. I could not tell you of an organization that I don't know an organization in good standing, like one that has like a charter that one could look to. But the things that I would look to are Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, the Actors Fund. They go so far to helping other people. I think that the Broadway industry is a huge supporter of Black Lives Matter. That's my personal opinion, but I've seen that from many shows as well. And I think that that's something that people can support, because we, as an industry, are about inclusivity and accepting people of all genders and races and sexual orientations. So I would follow Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, the Actors Fund, Black Lives Matter, and I believe there's a Black Broadway Coalition. I'm not sure what the name is, but I'll try to get that for you. Can I repeat the link that I mentioned? Yes, beanartshero.org. www.beanartshero.org. It's a new sort of grassroots campaign trying to get Congress to give the arts and culture sector some aid. We desperately need it, especially those of us who are live performers. And, in an effort to get back to some kind of solvency, the people that are in charge they're working with our unions, Actors Equity, Local 1, which is the IATSE, the crew union here in New York City, Local 802, which is the musicians union, the stage and the directors and choreographers union, SDC, There's several unions that they're working for, that they're working with government officials and health experts to determine what the safest way is to reignite the industry. It's such a moving target, you know. We learn more about the virus every day, and we learn more about how easily contagious it is in groups. But here's an interesting thing. It's anecdotal. I was on a Zoom with a bunch of my cousins a couple of months ago, and right when New York was sort of the epicenter of the virus, and none of my cousins live in New York. They mostly live in the South, and I said, "Would you feel comfortable coming to New York right now?" And they were like, "Absolutely not." And now New York is one of the safest places to be in the country because of the way that our state and local governments have handled the virus. And that said, it doesn't mean that doesn't mean everyone should come, and because there's no theater to go to. But I would hypothesize that means that we are in the best kind of shape to deal with this, and to when the time is right, to make audience members feel safe and ready to escape. I'm sorry, beanartshero.com, I believe is the I've been corrected, and thank you very much. www.beanartshero.com will give you more information on that campaign. Stephanie asks, am I finding ways to bring art to others in a different way? Yeah, I am. I mean, some of that's through teaching. I teach, and I teach acting, and I teach song interpretation, lots of things. I've done that privately and through master classes. I also I've done some singing and some demo recording via Zoom, and what else? And just recently, I started in fact, just yesterday, with my good friend David Josephsberg, who is a very, very successful actor on Broadway. He was playing Adam Maitland in Beetlejuice when Broadway industry was shut down. We just started sort of a talk show on our Instagram Live called Sessions with Josephsberg. My name is Tally Sessions. His name is David Josephsberg. And our goal is to inspire people, to bring some humor, some positivity. So we sing on there. We'll do some skits. And I saw you in Anastasia on Broadway. You're great. Thank you. But go. Oh, no. And then... yeah, I'm just doing that and trying to teach. And let's see, I'm sure new performers have been hit hard. What would you say to them? Okay, I've been thinking about this a lot, particularly people that have just graduated or had just come to the city, and they're like, what happened? This thing that I've been dreaming about is gone all of a sudden. Stay the course is what I would say. Stay the course. I promise you the industry will come back. I believe both Dr. Anthony Fauci and Governor Andrew Cuomo have said some version of there's a beginning to this, there's a middle, and there will be an end. We don't know when the end is, and that's what's frustrating, but there will be an end. There will be live theater again and live performance. You will have the opportunity to audition and to be a part of these great stories. So stay the course, keep training, live in the present. Don't worry about the past and don't worry about the future. Keep your chops up. Study. Give yourself breaks, you know. But you got to have hope. You have to have hope. It's going to come back. I promise you. And do I know how refunds have been working for ticket holders? I have some idea. You know, initially, I think we were shut down on March the 12th, and we were shut down through April 23rd, I believe. So everyone that had tickets was refunded to that date. And then we were shut down to September 3rd or so, maybe, and that was the next shutdown. And then we were shut down to January 3rd. So every time they were having to refund those tickets through each of those blocks of time, that's how that's working currently. Let's see, I should know this, but I don't. Would I say actors in the Broadway community are common to have their own artist LLC, or are most people pretty much free agents, for lack of a better word? it would be nice for you to obtain grants through your own LLC. Um, I know that many actors that I know have incorporated, and I imagine I guess that's an LLC. And when they do incorporate, they would possibly be eligible for grants, and pandemic unemployment assistance. If I'm not mistaken, that the PUA is for people that do a lot of 1099 work or corporations. But yeah, it's possible. I would say again, the Actors Fund is a great resource for actors that are out of work, and if you're having trouble meeting your medical bills or your rent or your mortgage or just eating, they've helped people for dozens of years, and they're an incredible organization. Let's see. Do most of you actors, etc., get unemployment? Well, it depends. Yeah, I mean, I can tell you that I am receiving unemployment, but the unemployment is based on how much you've worked. So, I mean, if you've worked, whether it's as an actor or if you have a survival job like waiting tables, or as if you're a temporary worker, you can apply for unemployment, and if you have wages, then you'll be granted them. But yeah, we are salary just like